So as you know from our other videos here, and check them out if you haven't caught them, there's a folder called Pinoy House Build. We did elect, I got vetoed, and put the barbed wire on the top of the fence. We've also elected not to buy that piece of property. It's now been another year, and these guys have been at this since 2019 on getting their tax deck in order, and it's still not in order. So there is something wrong there, guys. We don't know what it is, but there's definitely, from our lawyer's perspective, something wrong. This is why I say to you guys, don't fall in love with the property until your lawyer says, okay, hand them the cash, we've got the signatures, and Bob's your uncle, we're done. Property's kind of turning a little bit farm looking, isn't it? That's how I'll describe it. Farm looking. Ma's got some coconut, dwarf coconut going on the property, and it worked out fine. They're actually going to add some nice shading to the staycation units that we're going to put in here. Rooms with a shared washroom, and then the dirty kitchen, of course, will be at the house where people can cook their food, because a lot of people that do the staycation stuff, they're just cooking their own stuff anyway. Ma's put in the fish pond here, and it's not for food, guys. It's a project that Wilbert did. The plants over here, apparently they're just nice bushes. They'll have nice flowers on them and all that sort of thing. So it's not a edible product. Suffice to say is I took my driveway money that I was using, and we put the ceiling and the soffits in. All the plants here are growing wonderfully. And Ma's chicken pens here. She's now got the chickens. She's culled down, so she's only doing the Rhode Island chickens now. And when she wants eggs, and she cycles her hens here, guys. So she's not giving them hormone feed to produce eggs. Now we're hitting a bit of a dry spell right now, so that tote's not getting filled, and nor is this other one that's collecting the water off the chicken pens. I will add right now that based on her estimate of how much water she's using, we will buy a couple of more 1,000-liter, but we will buy septic tanks because they have a much lower profile than the IBC tanks. And we'll put them on the ground and rework our gutters a little bit there to collect that water. It will also buffer the amount of water that's going out to the ocean. Over here, we have got the dwarf bamboo that Ma's got over on the side of the house, and we're getting that ready to go to fill in that area there. Did make a mistake on the dirty kitchen here. I thought for sure, just by simply adding that privacy wall and such, that we would have more than enough cover for that stove, but the wind is getting in here nicely and it's giving us nice convection. Unfortunately, it's blowing the stove out, so we will be moving it over to this wall here. Now, luckily, in all of the testing that we've done, none of the smell in any significant way is getting into the house. We've still got to do, other things on the house, like painting the door frames and such, but, this is where we're stopping right now. So on the inside of the house, we have elected, or had elected, to stop using those brackets and take rebar and go all the way around. So one piece goes above this door frame, okay, and goes all the way over and ties welded to the one that goes across the top of the window here, that goes postie to postie. And let me give you a little bit more detail using the ensuite. So at 90, we come with a piece of rebar and go off of that pillar all the way around, through and out to the other side, and there's a little piece of rebar that goes in there and welded onto it. So at 90, 180, etc. Now here, we'd already done this wall before we did the other one, so this rebar is here, but that is fine because the door frame that's going to go in here is going to hide that. That's easy peasy. But suffice to say is that from that postie in that corner to this postie here, there's a piece of rebar, and that is welded to the one that goes over the door and ties to the postie that rings all the way around the bathroom, or the ensuite, and ultimately ties to the ones that are going across there. So it's all cross-tied, guys, and that's where we spent a little extra money on the rebar. I was not getting through to the guys that rebar is not necessary, but you know what? I wasn't happy with the angle brackets. And so the net result is, what the heck? We just put it in. After we did the floor, we had lots of extra 10 mm bar that was going to be used for other things, and we'll have to buy more for next year for that. So there we go. Our plugs have got USB ports on them and a plug for the lamp, and then the bed will go here. That furniture is being ordered now. We have a desk here with a plug and the USB there as well. So many of these devices now, guys, are USB driven, and like even your lights if you want to drive them that way, because they're all LED. Look at that view. Normally I would have my butt parked right about here in my chair, and look at that view. Oh, and the camera doesn't do it justice, guys. It does not do it justice. It's wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so from here, this is what we've got for a house. Very wide open. So the family plan now is, I think what it is, you know, until they see it, they can't work with it, right? So, or seeing is believing, as the old saying goes. So the idea was that my chair would be down there, and in the TV room I could see up this way. The ensuite for the staycation, for sort of an exclusive staycation. The guys will have their own private ensuite and their own bedroom. And when it hits a certain time of night, the doors can be locked, and they will have the kitchen in here as well, so that they don't have to use the dirty kitchen outside. Now the kitchen inside is only going to have a hot plate, but it will have the fridge. Inside our dirty kitchen area is where the staycation people will do their cooking. And there you go. Now I will finish this CR because thou shalt do the tiling correctly in my world. Okay, a plug and a USB between the two chairs, window, and we have a raised plug here for the TV. Now the reason that we oriented the house this way, which I wish we wouldn't have changed it, but Lynn, with her privacy, she wants to be able to see up the property without opening the door if necessary. But you know what? They never close the doors. So had we reversed all of this, yes, we would have had the, you know, everything looking at that wall instead of the other way. But then because of the privacy, we wouldn't have had to put this wall in if we were on the other side. Now we might have, because of their units over there. They have staycation on the upper floor of that house as well. Our gutters, I will address that question here. Yes, 45-degree angle, guys. No restriction on the water lines. Far too often I see them come across with a 90, and yes, it makes it really nice and dressed that way, but slowly the dirt starts filling up in the pipe, and you can see where the thing gets too weighted down, pops off, and then you got to clean out the pipe, which means you got to cut the pipe and all that sort of thing. Now what I'm going to do is give you a little demonstration of the Dr. J brackets for holding the large panels, not the 60 by 60 blocks that they have. You wouldn't want to hit them this hard with a hammer to do that work, right? But for the large panels that are reinforced, easy peasy. We did crack that when we tested it. So. Normally you wouldn't hammer it on this side because this is inside the wall. Normally you'd do it here, but I've got these in the way. So apparently you just drive this in.
Wow.
Very cool.
Look.
And then you drive it into the floor.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It even popped up on the inside here. It took the core right out. Goes in wonderfully. What a great way to adhere a large panel to the wall. You have to use a 22 caliber nail to drive it into the upper beam and the slab. Okay, so let's get to some of that. I'm going to also give you a cross comparison between the three major players here in Cebu. which all of them have said they ship to all of the other islands. Cartage is cartage, guys. It doesn't really matter. That's just what it's going to cost if you want to put it over there. Sigihor. So Clarence, here you go. Here's another rundown, and we will head over to Bogo Glass and try and get the name of that company that has roll sheeting for the roof that is dimensionally correct. Too much of this roofing stuff is, when you put a gauge on it, is varying in size. Aibiga. Light block is a aerated concrete, non-autoclaved, with rebar reinforcement added afterward. Light strong is the one that we used, and it is a 60 by 30 autoclaved product. And Dr. J has two systems. One is a block tongue and groove autoclaved product, and the other is a reinforced panel tongue and groove autoclaved product. Well, we didn't even get out of town here, and we scored some bamboo furniture. Yippee! There we go. This will get people started. And we weren't going to do it, but we did it anyway. Bought the bamboo bed, just a little 48 for the grandkids and niece nephew to utilize when they come and visit. Very cool. Thank you guys.